Good morning. Just check voice is audible and screen is visible.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes,
Okay.
sir.
Okay,
Yes,
very good morning. Meanwhile, if students will join, let us see what we were studying yesterday. Where we were, are you remembering what we have studied last lecture? I think problem. Okay, just we were found two problems, or we have solved two problems. Okay, so if you'll see, almost we are now at the end of this chapter. Few lectures are required to complete this chapter. Okay, right from basics we have started. So what is the importance of force? From that we have started. What is statics? What is dynamics? Kinetics, kinematics? How to resolve force? What is resolution? What is resultant? What are the different types of force system? Coplanar, concurrent, and so on. Many more. On which basis these are classified into various type. Okay. After that, as far as when problem it comes to problem solving, it is very important that when we want to solve a problem, sign convention is most important. That we have seen. Even we have seen which force we have to consider positive, which force we have to consider negative, which moment we have to consider positive, which we have to consider negative. Okay. Then while locating the resultant, if angle comes negative, then how to measure that angle? If angle comes positive, how to measure that angle? In that way, many more sign conventions. Before that, we have seen what is moment. Before that, we have seen what is momentum, what is moment, and what is movement. In general, okay, what is movement? That also we have seen. Correct. So many more things we have covered. Almost we are in more than half chapter is over this chapter. Okay, so procedure is same in our subject. Method is important irrespective of we can say in problem. If you will take some different value, are you able to solve the problem using your conventional method or not? Okay, procedure is important. Subjects like this, engineering mechanics, your understanding and procedure. So meanwhile, student will join. Still some students are not joined. I will ask few questions here just as a revision. Okay, so which force as far as sign conventions are concerned, there are, we have seen, so which we have to consider positive, etc. So suppose if you will divide in general, it is not again hard and fast rule, we can say. Suppose first is for force. Suppose we want to have force, which force we have to consider positive and which force we have to consider negative? A
The
general
force
question.
along positive x-axis and positive y-axis are considered as positive.
Okay, will you repeat please? So will
The force along positive x-axis and along the positive y-axis is considered as a positive.
very good. So in short, I will tell, or in short, I will write, if the force is going towards RHS, force is, or line of action of force is going towards RHS and upward, shall I say upward?
sir.
Yes,
Upward.
sir.
Then that force will be positive. Then that force will be positive. So for your information, either you can show in this way or in this way, something like this. If it is going towards RHS or upward, then it will be positive. On the other hand, which force will be considered as negative? in our mechanics in general, I'm asking, which force you are going to consider negative?
Towards
LHS and downward
Thanks.
force and downward force.
The force which is going towards
Left hand
LHS
side
and
and
downward.
downward.
and downward.
that force or line of action of that force, we can say that force we are going to consider negative. So it may go towards LHS or it may go towards downward in this way. Okay, this is related to force. Related to force. We have seen in during suppose now if I will ask at this question, if force is suppose going towards LHS, certain value it is having, and it is line of action is going towards LHS left hand side, what will be its y component? What will be its y?
Zero.
0.
It will be 0 because that force is horizontal. That force is horizontal. Okay, likewise you should remember. Next one is moment. Moment. So while calculating moment, whether we are considering the sign of force,
No,
No, sir.
then what we are considering here?
only
Only
magnitude.
magnitude.
Very good. Here only we considered here only here consider only magnitude of force. Consider only magnitude of force. Here we have to consider only magnitude. I will write complete magnitude of force. Okay, magnitude of force. Again, what is the sign convention? So here again I will write which moment we are considering positive.
Clockwise.
Clockwise movement.
Means okay. In a little explanation more, how you are going to check is it clockwise or not?
Negative then clockwise, positive then anti-clockwise.
If object will rotate in that way, you tell which moment we are going to consider positive.
Clockwise.
Clockwise.
Clockwise movement if force is applied at certain point and if that object is going to rotate in a clockwise direction, then how we are going to consider that moment?
Positive.
Positive.
So more precisely I will write, still there is little confusion in some students mind. Okay, so little I will write just a revision part. So if object will rotate, if object will rotate, if object will rotate in which direction?
Clockwise.
In clockwise direction, then it will be positive. If object will rotate in clockwise direction, it is most important, this word most important, clockwise. And when we are going to consider it should be negative.
Anti-clockwise.
Anti-clockwise.
Rotate in
Anti-clockwise.
anti-clockwise.
If object will rotate, if object will rotate in anti-clockwise direction.
Clockwise.
So here you should be able to identify which is anti-clockwise and which is clockwise direction. Now, okay, being an engineering student, we should be able to find once force is applied at certain point and we want to find a movement at desired point or a required point. That point you have to consider that is fixed. Force is applied maybe towards right hand side or in the left hand side. Accordingly, if object will rotate clockwise, moment is positive. If object will rotate anti-clockwise, moment is negative. And most important thing is what? First I have written sentence in moment. What is the first most important thing is what? We should not consider sign convention of
Force.
Here only we have to consider magnitude. Don't consider force. In case of resultant, while finding the resultant, etc., there you can consider force. Here it is not possible. You should not. And third, we have seen third. What was that? Direction of resultant. I will tell. Direction of resultant. That is one more convention we have seen. So, are you remembering when we have to take clockwise and when we have to take With respect to what we are giving direction of resultant? With respect to what? From where we are measuring the angle?
X-axis.
X-axis,
Negative x-axis?
positive
Positive
x-axis.
x-axis.
Positive x-axis. Positive. So here I will write with respect to uh, positive x-axis. So we are giving this convention in with respect to positive x-axis. Okay, so that I have written here. Now there are again two methods. By two ways we are giving direction of resultant. One is clockwise, and another one is
Anti-clockwise.
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 and another one is anti-clockwise. Anti-clockwise. Okay. How it is now? When we have to take clockwise?
If angle is
Is
negative.
negative.
Huh? All of you, are you with me? When we have
Yes, sir.
to
Yes, sir.
when we have to take clockwise?
If angle is
Angle
negative.
is negative.
Very good. If angle is
Negative.
that is theta. So shall I write here theta? Whatever we have calculated. How we are finding theta?
An
Tan
inverse of
inverse
summation of
summation
fy
of
divided
fy
by
upon
summation of
divided.
fx.
Very good. Tan inverse of summation fy divided by summation fx. Very good. And when we are going to consider positive, if
Angle is
Angle is
positive.
positive.
if angle that is theta, if angle is positive. So these are the sign convention. You should not get jumble. That's why as a summary I have written here. As a summary, actually we have studied these all things to avoid further confusion. Just I have written here to avoid further confusion. I have written here. Getting? So force, once we want to resolve, we want to find resultant. In that case, sign convention is important. Most important thing while calculating moment, only we have to consider magnitude, not its direction or sign convention. Okay, so here only we have to consider magnitude. Okay, likewise it is important. Okay, so for your information, you can write in your notebook summary type. You can say summary of sign convention. Till now, many more like parts are going to come in our further syllabus. But to avoid the confusion, just I have written as a part of syllabus. Okay, shall we go next? So you can note,
Yes, sir.
you can
Yes,
note in
sir.
your notebook or you can take screenshot. Now today we are going to see laws of forces. So you might have seen in your physics, maybe you never.
Screenshot घ्यायचं.
Okay, just a minute.
Okay, sir.
Next, laws of forces. Today we are going to see laws of forces. Maybe in your 12th you might have seen laws. So actually, what the methods or what the problems we are solving, these are analytical problems. Means we are using certain equations, calculations, etc., and we are finding the solutions. So actually, while solving any problem, when we want to find a resultant of force system, there are actually two methods. There are two methods. One is analytical method, another one is graphical method. So you might have heard in somewhere in your 11th, 12th, etc. graphical method. Using graphical method, maybe in your physics, if I'm not wrong, you might have performed certain practicals. You might have gone for certain result. Is it the case in your 12th?
Yes, sir.
Yes,
I
sir.
don't know whether you have studied online or offline. If in physics, because there are certain, maybe your what we can say, some vibrations, etc. Some experiments were there in physics where you were supposed to go for performing that experiment, and you are go to conclusion finally. It may be so. Here also we can find the resultant of the force system either by analytical method or graphical method. Here also we can find the resultant of force system either by analytical or graphical method. So that force system, laws of forces are divided likewise. So parallelogram law of forces, it is applicable to only two forces, and another one is there, method of resolution for more than two forces. Graphical method, triangle law of forces, polygon law of forces. What is graphical method? Means suppose once we are going to take scale, certain scale, suppose 1 centimeter or we can say 1 millimeter, certain scale we are going to give, or we are going to take something like this. Suppose centimeter is equal to 10 Newton force. Likewise, graphical method, we are going to solve, suppose then it will suppose 5 centimeter. So if force, then 5 centimeter line will indicate how much force. If 1 centimeter is equal to 10, then 5 centimeter line will indicate how much force.
15.
50 Newton.
50 Newton, in that way, 50 Newton. So accordingly, we are going to perform the some graphical method, and finally also it is possible for us to get the resultant. It is possible for us to get resultant. Again, there are two laws. One is triangle law of forces and polygon law of forces. There are also two laws are there. So nowadays, due to this pandemic situation of this corona, if possible, it may be there. There is concept of lab for laboratory, and V for virtual lab. What is meaning of virtual? Virtual means what? Have you heard this word virtual?
Yes.
Abhasi.
Abhasi.
Means what? Okay, in Marathi it is correct, abhasi, but means what? Suppose we want to perform experiment virtually. Means what? Or our teaching learning process is virtually. It is virtual. Means what? What is the meaning of this? We are now studying engineering mechanics virtually. What is virtually?
Imagine.
Imagine, it may not be. Imagine means something is not there, still we are assuming that is imagination. But virtual is different. Virtual exact, almost, it may not be. Virtual means what? Virtual means, in short, I will tell what is virtual. Now, what is this? Our teaching learning. I am teaching here mechanics. You are at there, your home. तुम्ही तुमच्या घरी आहात, मी इथं कॉलेजमध्ये सपोज. सो वी आर नॉट फिजिकली इन फ्रंट ऑफ अस. आपण समोरासमोर आहोत का? स्टील वी आर लर्निंग. Still we are learning. That is called virtual. Means what? Virtual means not physically, we will say, in short. Not physically. Not physically, we will say. In short, आपण physically समोर आहोत का? Neither I am in front of you or you are not in front of me. Still we are learning virtually. It's called virtual. For example, we can do virtual experiments also. Virtual experiment, it is available. If you search on Google, no, you will get now list of virtual experiment. Means what? Suppose you want to perform any experiment. You want to perform any experiment. So on a computer you can perform the experiment. Suppose experiment from from your chemistry, one experiment is there. There are two. Suppose what you are saying that because whatever, I don't know exactly. Some solution is here, some solution in another, what we are saying, beaker, whatever, I don't know this spot. Okay, and once you are going to pour it here, so some result you will get some result. So you will do this virtually on computer. You can perform the experiments on computer. It is called virtual experiment or virtual lab. Okay, in our subject also this concept is there. If time permit, we will take that also. Means suppose in dynamics we are going to see problems. A person is standing on the ground. He is throwing a stone in the air with certain speed. Means in this way he is throwing. So at what distance it will go? At top, at what height it will reach? How much time it will take to reach that height? What will be the time of flight? Time of flight means what? Once it is thrown from this side, how much time it will take to strike the ground? Likewise, experiments we can perform virtually. Virtually means on computer, not necessary to take physically that stone in your hand. You should throw in air. There you have to measure how much it has gone into the air. Likewise, virtually means not physically. You remember this. We can perform the experiments. That we will see at the end. I will show some experiments are there in our subject also, where we can go for virtual experiments. Okay, or virtual lab. So that concept is very important. You can search in Google. You will get certain colleges are there where on their website these it is there. Even we are also going to take it. Virtual lab experiment. Virtual means what? Virtual,
Not physical.
not
Not
physical.
physical.
Or we can say nowadays many what we can say employees are working virtually, or companies are working virtually. All the employees are there at home. Still that working of company is going on. Okay. So it is called virtually in that way. So forget about it. What is virtually, that we will see afterwards. Okay. So it means not physically, not necessary to touch any object. Still we can see what is that. That is virtually actually. So coming back to syllabus, there are certain methods to find a resultant. Methods for resultant, one is analytical method, another one is graphical method. It is related to practical. This is related to practical. If this situation will permit us, we are going to go for this in this way. Otherwise virtual. Otherwise virtual. If time permits and if you will come to college, then we will see this graphical method in our lab, how we are going to perform. If not, if situation will go in this way only, then we will go for field lab experiment. Field lab means I am going to show on computer how experiment can be performed virtually. Okay, so this one part is beyond our control. Right now, it is not in our control. We will see what to do. Regarding this now, analytical means what now? This word is famous to you. What is analytical? Analytical means what? Doing calculation, applying certain formulas. What is analytical? Am I audible? Hello. What is
Using
analytical?
analysis or logical reasoning.
Using
Using analysis or logical
okay.
reasoning.
Now, simple we can say we are going to use formulas. Certain formulas we are going to use. That's why it is called analytical. Formula we are going to use. So till now also we used while calculating resultant, we used formulas. It is analytical. So in that we are going to see parallelogram, law of forces. So one law, important law in this way. So here that law is important for this triangle law and polygon law. Only statement we are going to see, but on this parallelogram law of forces, here we are going to see statement, derivation, even problems also. Here there is no problems. It is only for practical. These two laws, actually there are three laws total, laws of forces, which are there: parallelogram, triangle, and polygon. What is polygon? What is polygon? Polygon, have you heard this word polygon? Or to whom we should say polygon? What is polygon? You are not knowing. What is hexagon? Have you heard this word?
Sir,
Hex
polygon means a plane figure.
huh? Polygon means
Polygons means polygon has five sides.
okay.
Figure.
Figure. Okay, polygon is a type of figure, but poly means many. You remember this word. Poly means many. Okay. If a particular figure will have three sides, we are calling it as a triangle. Okay. If it is having four sides, rectangle. Five side असेल तर काय म्हणायचं आपण?
Polygon.
Pentagon.
Pentagon. If it is having six sides,
Hexagon.
hexagon. If it is having seven sides,
Heptagon.
Heptagon.
then eight,
Octagon.
and so on, and so on. Okay, so there are many. Okay, but we are going to remember few of them. Okay, so we are going to see parallelogram, we are going to see triangle, and polygon means in general number of sides more than four in general. Okay, then what is parallelogram law of forces? What is parallelogram law? What is parallelogram? What are the properties of parallelogram? Are you able to tell some property of parallelogram? In Marathi, what you are saying? काय म्हणायचं मराठीमध्ये?
समांतरभुज.
व्हेरी गुड. समांतरभुज त्रिकोण का चौकोन?
चौकोन.
चौकोन.
व्हेरी गुड. काय प्रॉपर्टी आहेत? इज इट पॉसिबल फॉर यू टू टेल सर्टन प्रॉपर्टीज?
सगळ्या बाजू
Opposite angles are equal.
Opposite side.
Parallel and congruent.
Opposite sides are equal.
Okay, very good. Opposite sides are equal is one of property. Again,
Diagonals bisect each other.
very good. Diagonals bisect each other. Again,
Sum of adjacent
Sum of any two adjacent
Adjacent
angles
side.
is 180 degree.
sum of any two angle. Is it correct? I am not sure.
two adjacent
Two
Two
adjacent
adjacent angles.
angles are 180.
Okay, again,
Consecutive angle are
the most important you have missed. Opposite sides are parallel to each other. Is it the property? That's why it is called parallelogram.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
That one is most important. You are missing most important. You are telling secondary. It is okay, but you should tell primary. Opposite sides are parallel and equal. In that way also you can tell. Okay, let us see. Now we should not waste more time here. So what is parallelogram? Law of forces. So what is that statement? So that we will see. So here statement, it is in front of you. Just we have to part of syllabus we should remember. What is the statement of law of parallelogram of forces? Who will read the statement of this? I am having a little problem. Who will read?
If
Statement is
two
in front.
forces act,
Want to take opportunity to read? Rutuja Gaikwad, you want to take? You can. Rutuja.
थोडस डोकं नॉर्मल टेम्परेचर वाटते हो पण हाय कालच्यापेक्षा बरा आहे.
I think Rutuja is on some other discussion. Akanksha.
the law of parallelogram of forces states that if two forces acting on a body at the same time be represented in magnitude and direction by the two adjacent sides of a parallelogram drawn from a point, their resultant is represented in magnitude and direction by the diagonal of the parallelogram drawn from the same point.
Very good. Very good. Thank you. So just read all of you this and let me know what you understand from the statement. Statement is in front of you. The law of parallelogram of forces states that. काय सांगतोय? Law of parallelogram of forces states that what? If two forces acting on a body, how many forces? We have to consider two. If it is condition, it is conditional. There are certain conditions. Number one, there should be two forces acting on the body. But how should be that two forces? We can say simultaneously. It should act simultaneously or same time. Both the forces should act simultaneously. It is most important. There should be two forces and it should act again simultaneously or at same time. That is simultaneously. Be represented by. Then if we are going to represent these two forces by its magnitude and direction by two adjacent sides of parallelogram, then if we are going to consider these are the two forces of two adjacent, again it is important, not opposite, adjacent side of parallelogram drawn from their resultant sides of parallelogram drawn from a point, their resultant is represented in magnitude and direction by the diagonal of its parallelogram drawn from the same point. Okay, so what it tells, just read. Can someone can someone is it possible to explain this, what it is? Just check. If you want to explain, you can take help of Marathi, no issue. Let me see. Can anyone tell? It is very simple. There are two forces which are acting on a body simultaneously or same time. If we represent that two forces by adjacent side of parallelogram, if we will represent that forces by adjacent side of parallelogram, then their resultant can be represented by diagonal of parallelogram, or resultant of that will be the diagonal of that parallelogram. Now, is anyone who is able to explain this? Huh? Can anyone explain whatever I have explained? Is anyone in a position to explain this? Or you have not understood what is this statement? It is very simple. Though we feel
Hello,
it is.
sir.
Ha.
सर
बोल.
ओ पॉइंट वरती जर ओए या डिरेक्शनने आणि ओबी या डिरेक्शनने जर फोर्स लावला
हा.
तर तो कम्प्लीट पॅरलोग्राम जर आपण ड्रॉ केला आणि ओसी त्याचा डायरेक्ट बनल होतो तो ओसी म्हणजेच रिझल्टंट दोन्ही फोर्सचा.
Very good. Not 100%, but good try. Whoever has given answer, I have not seen them.
Can
Who
I,
has-
sir?
Okay. Sakshi.
If two forces acting on a body simultaneously and that two forces is in the form of two adjacent side of parallelogram, then the diagonal of that parallelogram passing through same point is the resultant of that two forces.
Very good. Very good. Almost 99% correct. A little correction. Anyone? Take opportunity to explain what it is. Very simple. There is no rocket science in this. If things are very simple, we should take immediately. Ashwini Madde Patel 27. Is it possible for you to explain 27? Vedita, Onkar, Gurav, Mahesh, Nihal, Ajinkya. Anyone? Very simple. If there are two forces acting on a body, जर एखाद्या बॉडीवरती दोन फोर्सेस ऍक्ट होत असतील, and if we are representing that forces by which sides of parallelogram? Adjacent sides of parallelogram, then their resultant will be diagonal of that parallelogram. It is shown in the figure. Okay. So if three forces are acting on a body simultaneously, whether this law will be applicable?
No.
It will not be. If suppose two forces are acting and but not acting simultaneously, these are acting at different times. One is acting firstly and then after some time other. These are not acting at same time or simultaneously. Whether this law will be applicable?
No.
No, sir.
It will not be. So certain conditions are there. If we want to apply this law, there should be two forces. It should act simultaneously and concurrent. Okay. So any two forces, a line of action of that force will pass through anywhere. So one more important thing, one more. There should be two forces that should be a concurrent. What is concurrent? Is it the case that any two forces will be always concurrent? दिलेले दोन forces always concurrent असतील का? What do
Yes,
you?
sir.
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, okay, I will give you example now. Suppose there is one body. There is one body. Okay, something like this. Suppose body A. Force A is acting here. Okay, I will give F1 name. And force B is F2 is acting here. Whether two forces are concurrent? Two forces are acting. Is it concurrent?
No.
No, sir.
Then we cannot say in general. If there are two forces, they are always concurrent. मग हे statement बरोबर आहे का आपलं? Is it correct?
नाही सर, आम्ही ह्या लॉ
No,
मधले
sir.
दोन forces सांगितले.
Okay. Related to this law, okay. But that again we can add one more condition. No, that forces should be concurrent. Okay, that forces should be concurrent. Okay, that we can add here. There should be two forces that should be concurrent. That should be concurrent, and if we are able to show that forces with the adjacent side of parallelogram, then their resultant can be shown. Can be shown or can be represented by what? Diagonal of the parallelogram drawn from the same point. Again, because how many diagonals are there for parallelogram? किती असतात diagonal parallelogram ला?
Four.
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 Two.
Two, sir.
Two, sir.
Two. And which diagonal will represent resultant? The diagonal which is passing from intersection or same point from where forces are passing. That diagonal. Are you getting? That diagonal will represent resultant. Okay. A lot of discussion. Let us go for now. See now. As a part of syllabus we will go. Now here assume derivation. Now you can write next. Law of parallelogram of forces derivation. Law of parallelogram of forces derivation. So how we can derive the formula? So let us assume there is one point A. Step by step, just we will go step by step. Suppose there is a point A. Here there is point A. Okay. At this point there are two forces acting. So one force is something like this, in this way, suppose in this way, force A to B. Okay, suppose force P is acting in this way, and another force is acting in this way. Let it, I will give name as here P, here Q. Okay, and A to C, this point is C. Okay, and the angle between these two forces, let us assume as a theta. Angle between these forces is a theta. Okay, like these two forces are there. Now if these two forces, if we will represent by what? Adjacent side of parallelogram. Adjacent side of parallelogram. Then if I will complete the parallelogram here, if I will complete in this way, if I will complete maybe in this way, something like this. Okay, so A, B, C, D. Suppose I will give name here D. Okay, so in this way, and this will be in this way. So their resultant can be represented by diagonal. What is the diagonal? R. If I will say here R, and that angle, suppose we will say alpha. In that way. So what I have did? There is a point A I have taken where there are two forces acting simultaneously or at same time. Which are they? कुठले दोन forces आपण consider केले point A ला?
P and Q.
P and Q.
P and Q, which are acting at point A. Now, to get the diagonal, or we want to take a resultant of that, we have to complete what? Parallelogram. Then now here derivation. For derivation, how we can see? What is the angle between this force P and Q?
Theta.
Theta.
Theta. So you can draw this in your. We will just go for derivation. Okay. So assume. So here we will write shortly. In short, we will go for derivation. Assume at point A. At point A, two forces P and Q acting simultaneously. Acting simultaneously. Hello. हाँ नको सर जरा आजारी या एकदम हाँ sorry. Assume at point A two forces P and Q acting simultaneously. Okay, so how we have represented? How we have represented that forces? Hello, am I audible?
Yes, sir.
How we have represented? Adjacent side. Okay, by adjacent side of parallelogram. In short, I will write parallelogram. Okay, now we want to find resultant R. That is our aim. You remember. Now, what we can do? We can extend. Are you with me?
Yes, sir.
Just a
Yes,
part
sir.
of
Yes,
syllabus.
sir.
We will derive this. It is very simple. There is nothing. So what we will do? Just we will draw this. We will complete this. What we can say? Right angle the triangle. So in this way, I will complete this right angle the triangle, and here I will give point E. Okay, I will give as a name as a point E. Just I have completed here. Now, if we'll say opposite sides are equal, as opposite sides are equal, so what will be the force Q is represented by AC. So what will be this B to D? What will be this? किती असायला
Q,
पाहिजे?
sir. Q.
It should be Q. Okay, and what will be this? If A to B is P, force P, then C to D should be again.
P.
P.
Again, it should be P. Again, it should be P. Very simple, because opposite sides are equal and parallel and equal, we can say. Consider now. Consider triangle DEB. DEB. Now one more thing I have missed. So what is the angle between P and Q? Theta. So what will be the angle between it? Is it theta? Are you with me? Angle between P and Q we have assumed initially as theta. Correct?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Then
Yes,
what will
sir.
be the angle between side B to D and B to E? What will be that? Means what is this angle in short? हा angle किती आहे? What is
Alpha.
Theta.
theta or alpha?
Theta.
हाँ सांगा बरं बघू. Angle between B to E and B to D. Very simple.
Theta.
It should be
Theta.
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 हा theta असायला पाहिजे. Why? What is the base for this?
Corresponding angle.
Okay, corresponding angle, or we can say side A to AC, side AC and BD are parallel. हे दोन्ही parallel आहेत, बरोबर आहे?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Now consider angle DEB. Consider angle DEB. Okay, so apply sin theta. So therefore, sin theta is equal to, our aim is to find sides of this triangle. Already we know one side of this triangle, that is BD. Our aim is to find DE and BE. Okay, so that we want to find whether triangle DEB is right angle triangle.
Yes, sir.
Yes,
Yes, sir.
Yes, it is right angle triangle. Then sin theta, tell me what is the value of sin theta?
D upon D.
Huh? D upon
DB.
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 D upon DB.
D upon DB or BD, whatever. BD or DB. Therefore, we want to find a DE. What will be the value of DE then? What is
BD
value of
sin theta.
BD sin theta, but what is value of BD?
Q.
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 Q sin
Q
theta.
sin theta.
Q sin theta. Let us give equation number 1. Similarly, now cos theta. What will be cos theta in that?
B upon D.
DE upon BD.
B upon BD.
Very good. B upon
BD.
BD or DB, whatever. Therefore, BE equal to, what will be that? What will be that? Q
Cos theta.
Cos theta.
Q cos theta. Equation number 2. What we want to find? What is our aim? आपण कशासाठी करतो? Are you getting? We want to find resultant R. Now, which triangle we have to consider? Which triangle we have to consider in which that R will come resultant? That triangle should be now right angle.
BAE.
A
AED.
AED. Very good. AED. So in that resultant R is going to come. Okay. Consider triangle. Consider triangle. So which one?
AED.
ED.
AED. Consider triangle AED. Now apply Pythagoras theorem. Apply Pythagoras theorem. So what will be that? Is it possible to apply Pythagoras theorem in that triangle AED?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, we can apply. Why? Because it is right angle triangle. Okay. So hypotenuse square. What is hypotenuse square? AD
AD
square.
AD square.
AD square equal to
AE square plus
A
B.
square plus
Square
B
plus
square.
E square.
A square plus
DE square.
DE square.
square.
D square. Okay. We can give that is equal to AE is nothing but addition of which two sides?
AB and BE.
AB and BE.
So we will give AB plus BE
DE.
square plus DE square. Okay. Just wait. Now we will go here. So what is the value of AD? Similarly here. What is the value of AD? AD represent what?
R
What is-
resultant.
R.
Result.
It is representing R. So for your information, you should not confuse. AD represents R. So R square is equal to into bracket. What is the what AB side indicate or represent?
P plus B square.
No. AB
P.
AB.
P.
P.
AB is representing P. What BE represent or we calculated or we found out the value of BE. What is that?
Q.
Q cos
Q
theta.
cos theta.
Q cos theta. Okay, square plus DE. What is the value of DE?
Q sin
Q sin
theta
sin theta.
Q sin theta. Okay, only we have to now go for simplification. What will be this? What will be the expansion of this first bracket?
P
Square
square plus
plus
2P
2 PQ
Q
cos
cos
theta
theta
plus
plus
square theta.
plus
cos Q cos square Q cos
Q
square
square
theta.
cos square theta.
Q square cos square theta plus
Q
this
square sin square
Q square
sin square.
sin square theta. Any simplification? Can we go? Any simplification here?
cos square theta plus sin square theta.
Q square common घेऊन cos square theta plus sin square theta is equals to 1.
So here P square plus 2PQ cos theta 2PQ cos theta plus shall I write directly Q square?
Q square.
Q square.
Directly Q square. So are you able to see? Once we are going to take Q square common in bracket, it will be what? Cos square theta plus sin square theta. And
Sin
its
square.
value is
1.
1. So this is the value of R square. This is the value. If this is R square, then what will be the value of R?
Under
Root
Under
P square
root P square plus
2PQ cos
2PQ
theta plus Q square.
2PQ cos theta plus
Q square.
Q square. Okay. P square plus 2PQ plus cos square theta. So this will be the value of
R.
this will be the value of R. So here is it not possible? Here it is not possible to go for its, we can say, further simplification. So this will be the R. Now we want to find alpha. Alpha angle is nothing but angle made by resultant with horizontal. Here it is alpha. To find alpha or inclination of resultant. So to find alpha. Okay, so what will be that alpha? How we can find? Suppose apply to find alpha. I will write here. Consider triangle. Consider triangle which? That large triangle A D E. This triangle we have to consider A D E. So in that, suppose we apply tan theta or tan alpha. What will be that tan alpha? What is opposite side of that alpha angle? D.
DE.
D. And what is adjacent side of side?
AE.
A.
AE, and it is nothing but again DE. AE we can write AB plus
B.
B. AB plus B, that is equal to DE represent what? We have calculated equation 1.
Q cos
Sin theta.
Q sin theta.
Sin theta.
Q,
Sin theta.
and what is this? AB indicate P.
Q
Plus
cos.
Q cos theta. So this will be the formula to find its resultant. So here I will write tan alpha equal to Q sin theta divided by P plus Q cos theta. So this is the resultant and this is the angle of resultant. So if two forces are acting simultaneously at a point, means if problem will fall under this law of parallelogram of forces, you can find directly. If you are knowing two forces, you can find directly. You understood? Very simple. As a part of syllabus, we have taken the derivation, but that formula is important. You can remember formula. Resultant of two forces or two law of parallelogram forces, that R is equal to under root P square plus 2PQ cos theta plus Q square. And tan alpha is equal to Q sin theta divided by P plus Q cos theta. Note down these two formula, most important. Here A, here B. These two formulas are most important. Any problem? Any problem in this?
No, sir.
No, sir.
Shall we take one example?
No, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
One example. Let us see one example. Formula, have you noted down what is R and what is alpha? So tan inverse of that, once you are going to do, you will get. Okay. Have you noted down formula?
Yes, sir.
Who will read this? Find what it is the statement. Will you read? Someone can read loudly.
Find the resultant between two forces of 100 Newton and 150 Newton, which are acting at a point simultaneously if angle between them is 45 degree.
See. So how we can say this problem will fall under law of parallelogram of forces? So here there is no question. For angle between forces is given. Neither it is given angle by one of the force with some x or y axis, etc. So what the way I have told. So there should be two forces. Okay. There should be two forces. How they should act?
Simultaneously.
Simultaneously.
In problem statement itself, it is mentioned these two forces are acting simultaneously. Now, what it is given for that? What it is given for that? What it is given?
Force.
No. For that forces, what forces are given? Okay. So for one of the force, I will say P equal to let us say 150. Q equal to 100 and theta equal to 45. These three things are given. Angle between them is given. Okay. Angle is given. So I have told the criteria on which basis you have to say this force is this force system falls under law of parallelogram of forces. Which are the criteria? कशावरून म्हणणार की हा प्रॉब्लेम लॉ ऑफ पॅरलोग्राम लॉ ऑफ फोर्सेसच्या अंडर जातोय. इन which basis how many forces are given?
Two forces act
Two
Forces are given.
Two forces, again it is acting simultaneously and angle between them is given. And angle between them is given means our conditions are satisfying. So apply law of parallelogram of forces. Law of parallelogram of forces. Okay. What will be that? Therefore, simple. Now directly formula. Don't go anywhere. Directly formula. What is that formula? R is equal to
Under root p
Under
p
root
square
p
plus
square
2
plus
pq
plus
cos
2
theta plus
pq
q
cos
cos
square.
theta plus q square.
cos theta plus q square, no?
q square.
Q square directly. Calculate that value. Under root, how much that value you can tell me. Therefore, R is equal to directly resultant. Is it possible for you to calculate fast?
150.81, sir.
No. Under root, what is that value? Or you are telling resultant?
Resultant, sir.
How much?
150.81. 150.81.
1.81. We will check. Any other? What is the value under root? How much it is? Under root value?
Sir, I find directly on calculator.
Okay. Any other? Any other?
Yes, correct.
No. Under root, what is that value? This.
Under
Or you find directly? All of you found directly?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay, if is okay. Now then also find direction. Direction. What is direction? What is that formula? Tan alpha is equal to what is that? Q cos theta, no? Or sin theta?
Q sin theta.
Sin or cos? Sin. Q sin theta.
P
Divided
plus q cos theta.
P plus
Q cos theta.
q cos theta.
Q cos theta, which implies tell me directly value of alpha. Here nobody is telling values. So
94.55, sir.
okay. 50, 100 into cos 45 plus okay. Alpha
94.55.
4.55. Is it correct? Any other? Any other? Just check. Is it correct? Sakshi? Hello?
Yes, sir, calculating.
Calculated. Just check. R also check someone. Value of R.
Sir, R
Sir,
value is right.
231.32.
Value of R.
231.32.
That's why I'm saying you
हा
should.
सर माझी पण तेच आले ते.
That's why I was
Same
asking.
आली sir.
How much? 231.
231.32.
0.32.
Yes, sir, same.
This is correct. And for what is alpha? 17.74. Just check. $17.74. Just check is it correct or not. Fast calculations. Only calculations you have to do. Nothing. Anybody's calculating? Rohini, what is your answer?
Yes, sir. 17.74.
Correct.
Yes, sir.
Value of R. Is it so difficult calculation? So step by step you should go. You can go step by step. Any other?
So same.
These answers are correct. So earlier someone has told 150. Actually that calculation has gone wrong somewhere. I don't know who has told 150. Who was told that calculation? Guru?
Sir, I was told.
No, sir. I was
Okay.
given 231.32.
Very good. Who was given that? Where you have committed a mistake? Prathamesh, you have told that answer 150.
No, sir, I have told that.
Okay,
Ajinkya.
Ajinkya, where you have committed a mistake?
सर ते फॉर्म्युल्यामध्ये 2p cos theta घेतला होता सर 2pq cos theta नको
Okay.
घेतला.
So you have missed a Q in middle term.
Yes sir.
Okay. Be careful. Our calculation should be very careful, otherwise it will go wrong. Okay.
Yes sir.
Okay, no issue. Then we will stop for today. Any problem in this? If not, you go stepwise. You will get answer step by step. Shall we stop then? Please write your numbers quickly in chat box, and we will stop for today. Thank you.